Hello everyone, I am Dilip Kumar, Organizing Secretary, International Conference. Foremost, I would like to welcome all participants. Hello everyone, to this international conference. I am Dilip Kumar, on Organizing Secretary, Components International Conference. Performance and foremost, I would like to welcome all participants. Hello everyone, since International Conference. Dilip Kumar, most Organizing Secretary, Components International Conference. Performance and foremost, I would like to welcome for the field of physical education. We are indeed honored by the presence of Dr. Gajanana Prabhu, Chairman, Department of PG Studies in Physical Education, Kuvempu University, Karnataka. We very strongly believe that our knowledge would be enriched by the keynote address on futuristic trends in physical education. I now request Dr. A. Shobha, Director of Physical Education at GFGC Pune, to introduce Dr. Gajanana Prabhu sir to the gathering here. Over to you, ma'am.
Respected participants, Dr. Gajanana Prabhu B is serving as Associate Professor in the Department of Postgraduate Studies and Research in Physical Education, Kuvempu University since 2006. He has completed his Master of Physical Education from Lakshmi Bai National College of Physical Education, Trivandrum. He has secured Lieutenant Colonel K.S.C. Nair Gold Medal for obtaining first rank in his post-graduation during 2003 to 2005. He has successfully completed National Eligibility Test with Junior Research Fellowship during December 2004. He has completed his PhD in Physical Education from Kuvempu University under the guidance of Dr. S.M. Prakash. His research entitled Influence of Loading Patterns and Muscular Performance on Bone Mineral Density of Trained Athletes is a remarkable contribution in the field of exercise physiology and sports medicine. Further, 6 research scholars have obtained PhD under his supervision and 4 are progressing with their doctoral degrees. He has represented Mangalore University and Karnataka University in South Zone Inter-University Volleyball Tournament. He has pursued an S certificate course in athletics and handball from Sports Authority of India. He has published 65 research articles in reputed journals in the field of physical education and sports. He has attended more than 30 national as well as international level seminars, workshops, and conferences in his career of 14 years. He has authored 3 books in the field of physical education and sports. He has also completed 1 minor research project funded by Kuvempu University during 2008 and 9. He has worked as the member of textbook committee formed by Government of Karnataka and has contributed a lot in designing the textbooks of physical education for 6th to 10th standard by Karnataka Textbook Society, Government of Karnataka. Dr. Gajanana Prabhu has been teaching for both BPEd and MPEd graduates at Kuvempu University for the past 14 years. He has been the member of Board of Studies, Board of Examiners, Board of Appointment of various universities within Karnataka. Presently, he is the coordinator for BPEd and Yoga of Kuvempu University. He is also the nodal officer for Youth Red Cross at Kuvempu University. I honestly welcome you for this Festival of Knowledge, sir. Over to your keynote address.
Thank you so much, madam, for your warm and kind words. I would like to share my screen here. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Yes, I'm indeed very happy to present my keynote address in this auspicious occasion in which Bapu Group of Education Institution is organizing international conference on decoding aliphatic components of health, performance, and well-being. So it gives me immense pleasure to express my thoughts here in the form of keynote address. Uh, I have taken up this topic as futuristic trends in physical education. So we are facing the pandemic. Amidst that, we are getting ready for the national new education policy 2020, and many other challenges in the coming days. So I would like to just share my thought on futuristic trends in physical education. So we are observing this transformation in education and physical education. We all know that there is a big transformation going on in India in the form of new education policy. And all these changes are actually required. These are inevitable because since last 70 years, our performance in international level in the field of sports is quite dismal. And we are not able to perform as our neighboring countries like China, Japan, and other nations of Asia and America could perform. Although with such a small population, they could perform so better. And we need to think of this. And there are a lot of challenges in this particular scenario. And there are a lot of expectations from India in the 21st century. Our children, our future, our students need to be okay with the global standards. So they should comply with the global standards and come up to the expectations. And we all know what is going on in and around us. Our children, though they are very small to us, they are very well versed with online education. And there is concept of blended teaching, which may come into existence in future. And also a lot of coding classes going on. All young children are into coding, online classes, and many other activities on the online. And we all know that since last 70 years, we could not do much in the field of sports. Not only in sports, even in the field of physical education, in the field of health, we could not do much because we are hearing all new concepts in the field of pathology, that is junior diabetes and hypertension and a lot of cancers, obesity, and many other problems are becoming very evident nowadays, even to the small children. So maybe we have to think of a bit of transformation in the field of education and physical education. So if India wants to develop, wants to come into the list of developed nations, and if it wants to express its supremacy over other nations, if it wants to become a powerful nation, although it is getting powerful day by day in various other fields, but in the field of education and physical education, we need to establish our supremacy. So once the education gets transformed, the mental, the cognitive aspects get strengthened. And along with that, physical education is an integral part of education. There is no doubt in that. It has been propagated since long, and it has been well established through a lot of literature and research. So physical education is an integral part of education, and if you impart it in a very effective way, only then we can expect some physically and mentally and socially and emotionally well-balanced students. That is the future of India. I would just like to start my presentation with one small video. Here is a 4-year kid, and this kid actually is doing skipping here, and it has not been taught to it actually. The elder sister of this kid of 11 years, that girl was skipping, and this kid actually, observed its elder sister and then caught the concept, and it was doing actually skipping with its own knowledge and with its own observation. So just see, not a big deal that skipping at 4 years is not a big deal. Many people do it, but without teaching, without any education, without any training, if it does at its own, then it is something we'll have to think of. You just see this video and we'll come back to the presentation. this child is of 4 years and it could do skipping without any coaching or training or no guidance or nothing like that. Only by observing its elder sister, if it can catch that. Just think of the education policy, how sound it needs to be to cater to the needs of such children. In 1968, we had an education policy under the able leadership of our then Prime Minister Srimati Indira Gandhi. And in 1986, again, we had another education policy under the able leadership of then Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi. And now in 2020, after 32 years, after 34 years, in fact, we have the latest education policy of 2020 under the able leadership of our present Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. So needs of children are entirely different nowadays. The needs of children in 1968 was entirely different than the 2020. Even in 1986, the needs of children were entirely different as far as 2020 is concerned. We cannot compare. So the growth of the child, maybe because of various reasons, maybe we have come up economically and we are getting sound day by day, and India is getting stronger day by day, maybe because of the good economy, and maybe because of some eating habits, food habits, changed food habits in the 21st century, and many other reasons. The children, they are growing like anything. The brain development, according to the experts who formulated this new education policy, what they say is the brain development of child is much more than the previous children. So nowadays, we can observe in and around us, the child of 4 years or 3 years or even 2 years, that child can handle a smartphone very effectively. And it can browse various features in that, and it can handle the phone, it can operate the phone, and you can just imagine how the brain is getting developed. So according to this new education policy, child gets into the school system quite early. We used to get into the school at the age of 4 or 5 or 6, but now after this new education policy is implemented, by 2030, it is supposed to be implemented with full swing, and there is no concession regarding that. But when this new education policy is introduced, a child at the age of 3 years will be entering the school system. Although there will be a lot of play, there will be a lot of health related training or education, and vaccination related education, all these things will be included in the school system till 6 years of age. But still, when the child enters, such a young child enters the school system, we need to take care of it all round. So sports, according to this new education policy, sports has got a lot of prominence here. Because since last 70 years, we have been following this physical education and broad-based physical education. All these concepts were included since last 70 years, according to Kothari Commission report and many other reports. But we could not achieve much. Maybe there are plenty of reasons for that. NEP is not, education policy is not the alone reason for that. There are many other reasons, but the time has come where we need a transformation, and sports has been given a little bit of more prominence than the physical education. This is what I personally feel when I went through the 65 pages new education policy. So why, for what reason this has been done? This is purely because we need a lot of medals at the international level. In order to establish our supremacy and in order to establish our greatness and convey it to the rest of the world, we have to establish ourselves in the field of sports. We cannot lag behind there. So for that reasons, even at the school level, at the colleges level, and many other professional college level, and even in the teacher education level, this concept of sports has been included and it has been highlighted. Because there is another concept where our former former sports minister, Sri Kiran Rijiju, what he expressed is sports persons should get a good career for themselves. They should not struggle for a job, they should not struggle for livelihood, and they should get a respectable job in the society with good livelihood. So once they have finished their career, they will be absorbed and they will be given jobs and many other things. I'll come to that in the succeeding slides. And when you come to sports cannot be given to all the children. Very few students can be benefited from that. But when it comes to health in total, then yoga is a better option. What our NEP actually expresses during this International Yoga Day, many policymakers, they expressed yoga can be a good adjunct for this physical education or sports. Although there a lot of debate is required in this lines, but yoga will be getting prominence in coming days. Early specialization in sports is what we are seeing. So at a very young age, we are thinking of getting them into the sports according to the trends that is going on in and around us. So I think this model is derived from some developed nations. Those nations are considered as superpowers in sports, maybe USA or China or many other nations. So actually now there is a contradiction between broad-based development or a early specialization, whichever is which aspect has to be taken. This thought has to be debated nowadays. The debate is going on, and broad-based development was considered good in the previous days, and many research and many developments took place for past 70 years, past 65 to 70 years. But you know what is the result. But now a model of China, what they have done is they prefer early specialization and early entry into the sports and specialized training and many other things. So maybe we are getting good aspects from other sports laws or sports policies of different nations. I just went through the sports law of China, where they clearly mentioned that the child has to enter the sports at a very early age. So when this aspect is concentrated, there is a fear of or apprehensions about burnout. So there is every chance of burnout. So when a joint or when a muscle attachment is overloaded at a very young age, so there are possibilities of injuries and burnout. So this aspect cannot be ruled out. Next is implementation. So China is a communist nation where implementation is quite easy there. Although it is it is number one in population, but when it comes to implementation of a certain rule or certain law, then it is quite easy there as compared to a democracy. Here, maybe at the early age, if you inhumanly treat, if parents feel that that child is inhumanly treated during sports coaching, parents may withdraw the child from coaching. So there are many issues related to this. There are many possibilities where such early specialization could not work in a democracy. Now, I got some reviews from the internet in some research articles that sport in China heavily influenced by government. Government takes maximum intervention and sees to that the medals are brought to the nation, and the China excels in sports at the elite level. So role of government in sport in China, if you go through this article in the internet, you will come to know Chinese Olympic strategies. There is something called Chinese Olympic strategies. They focus on Olympics. Getting maximum medals in Olympics is their motto, is their target, is the prime objective of their sports law in their nation. Centralized athlete development system. They have got a centralized athlete development system where a child at a very early age, it enters the field of sports. And it is been sent to the sports school, and it is given proper nutrition and many other training aspects, and everything is taken care by the government, and the entire system sees to that the child gets medal to the nation, especially in the Olympic Games. So this system provided China with an advantageous position for winning medals in the Olympic Games and other world sports competitions, leading to tremendous nation pride among its citizens. So initially, when it was implemented during 1995, there was a little bit of agitation regarding this, but later on, when China excelled in the field of sports at the international level, all citizens, they felt proud, and all of them started supporting it. Now, another issue that I want to bring to the notice of all the viewers is that There are a lot of sports universities coming up in India. So when you come across their objectives or their aim, so here we'll have to give a thought here. There are so many universities in India coming up in recent times. It is Swarnim Gujarat Sports University in Gujarat, National Sports University in Manipur, the Maharaja Bhupinder Singh Punjab Sports University, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University Chennai, and Delhi Sports University. There are many such universities. I have listed a few. Maybe state governments are planning for many other universities. I don't know the recent developments, but as far as my knowledge, there are 5 universities that has been established in different parts of the nation. See, this Gujarat is on the west side and Manipur is on the east side. This Punjab Sports University is in Patiala on the northern side and Chennai is in the southern side. So we'll just observe, if you observe it, the entire nation is being covered here, and Delhi Sports University is in the capital of India. So such developments are going on. The main objectives of these sports universities, according to my belief, is that degree. Here, the universities give them degree upon their graduation, upon their performance or upon their merit in the sports and games. So they are caught up at the early age and they are given training, and later on they give the graduation, post-graduation, doctoral degrees in cricket, football and hockey, among other sports. So all these things are planned, and they prepare the athletes for world-class competitions. This is the contention of the Delhi government. So it has not been fully established. Recently, I think we all know our former weightlifter, Olympian Karnam Malleshwari Madam is appointed as the Vice Chancellor of Delhi Sports University. And what the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Manish Sisodia, what he says is the intention of this university is not to generate jobs. It is to nurture and foster talent. Their goal is to prepare international medal winning champions. So in what direction we are moving? That is a big question mark. Whether these universities will become successful in the coming days, whether their aims and objectives are clearly laid down. So all these things come into account, and we need not be surprised if there is such a university in Karnataka also. So till date, nothing has been planned, but we don't know in future, every state will have a sports university, and the aims and objectives are realized in the true context. In coming days, we know there will be a lot of prominence to yoga. Since 2014, we have been celebrating International Yoga Day. So with our great effort of our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, so he convinced the UNO and got it done that 21st of June celebrated as International Yoga Day worldwide. So yoga is of Indian origin, we know that, and we are the real people who will have to popularize it all over the world. And we Indians, we don't know the benefits of yoga. There are multiple proven benefits established in research. So most of the research are done from the foreigners. So when there are a lot of proven benefits, why don't we make use of this at the school level? So thoughts are coming in this direction also. And the main thing is that only very less facilities are enough for this yoga and for the performance of yogic practices. Very less facilities are enough. So for that reason, maybe physical education will include yoga as a prominent subject, and we don't know how far it will take us, and whether the yoga will gain more prominence than any other subject or something like that. Coming to my last slide, physical education for changing needs. So the needs are getting changed. So nowadays, the children or the school children especially, they are the digital natives. They are very fast, their thinking is very fast, it is very vibrant, they are very focused, they have seen a colorful world in that smartphone, their screen timing, everything. So when they are involved in that, in the last 2 years during this pandemic COVID-19, they are forced to look into the smartphones. So now they are truly digital natives, and we are the migrants. So we are the grown-up people, we the parents, especially with the teachers. So we are not the natives of that. We got the smartphone at a later stage. Just imagine how fast their mindset is. Now, what we have to focus here is the principle of variety. In a true sense, activities should be, there should be variety of activities given to them, or else they will feel bored and they will stay away from physical education, sports, or yoga, or whatever it is. So you need to make your activities more colorful, more interesting. And even the equipment that you select for these activities need to be focused, and you should take utmost care by selecting equipment. And the instruction, so you cannot make them bore with your long talks and something like that. So your instruction needs to be planned very well. And physical education or sports or whatever may be the nomenclature, it should be need based. So obesity will be prominent in the coming days because our physical activity level has come down. When I went through the global recommendations of World Health Organization on physical activity and sedentary behavior, there is a 5-page report given in 2020. So what they say is the physical activity has drastically come down, and we have to take care of this, or else this obesity will be rampant, and it will be out of control, and there will be a lot of associated problems. Next is non-communicable diseases. So nowadays, as I told previously, that junior diabetes, hypertension, then cancers, and most importantly CVDs, cardiovascular diseases, all these things have become very prominent nowadays. Even to young people, even to children, these things have become quite common. So our physical education or sports or yoga or whatever the nomenclature we give to it, it has to be need based and focus on preventing non-communicable diseases and even managing non-communicable diseases. And stress, like this lot of socio-economic reasons may be given for that. The stress in students or children or college youth has drastically increased, maybe because there are various reasons that can be given here. Nuclear family, or lot of expectation, peer expectations, or uncertainty going on around. So COVID-19 pandemic and many other reasons had led to stress. See, now 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years, these children are away from school. We don't know when it is going to reopen. So when such thing has happened, in order to saturate the situation, we may need time for that. So a lot of stress, particularly distress, is prominent among children. We will have to deal with that with our physical education and sports and yoga. And most importantly, the mental health. See, now loneliness is quite common nowadays. Depression, then anxiety, all these things have become very, very common nowadays. And even though we are very popular, we are very familiar to social media, we have an account in Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram or many other, Telegram, we have accounts everywhere, but we have a lot of friends, we have hundreds of thousands of friends there, but still we feel lonely nowadays. Maybe because we don't have that affinity, the physical affinity, we don't meet them, we don't greet them, there is no much scope to share our thoughts physically and face to face. So this face to face interaction is getting somewhere we are missing it. And maybe because of that, in spite of thousands of friends, we feel lonely, and there are many such mental health related problems mushrooming up nowadays, and we'll have to take care of that. And even pandemic situation, as I told you, there are many problems associated with this. One important thing, recently when there was a SSLC examination, I just observed there is a problem of overweight nowadays, because children were not allowed to come out for safety reasons, for health reasons, as per the directions of the government. They were forced to sit inside, and when they sit inside, automatically their screen timing will increase, and along with that, their food consumption will increase, and all this will lead to overweight and obesity problems. Along with that, there are many problems like enhancing immunity. A lot of webinars have been conducted on that in order to increase the immunity through physical activities and sports. So all this knowledge has to be taken into account, and we'll have to cater to the uh, uh, cater to the latest needs of the students, and then we'll have to formulate a physical education or sports or yoga program. So this is what I wanted to express, and I hope this new education policy gives wings to physical education, and it helps us to establish ourselves. This profession has to flourish, and without a healthy body, a child cannot survive, we know that. And mere medals in the competitions will not help us, because we have to take care of the health aspect of the child, overall children of the school, overall children of the society, overall children of the state, overall children of the nation. So for that reason, even if you change the nomenclature, the aims and objectives of physical education should not be compromised. This is what my thought, and I thank Bapu Degree College for giving me this opportunity to express my thought in the form of keynote address. Thank you very much to the organizers, Dr. Shobha Manjunath Madam and Mr. Dilip, who have recognized me and has given me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Sir, you can stop sharing the screen, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Gajanana Prabhu, sir. Sir, your presentation is just tip of an iceberg, and the topic is very voluminous, but this is the one which needs to be discussed and rediscussed again and again. Thank you for the brainstorming session, sir. The future for we, the physical educationists, are definitely challenging. You have made us understood what exactly the future will be like. And here are few questions, sir. I think you are the best person to answer these. So kindly take these questions, sir.
Yes, definitely, madam. Please.
And here are few questions, sir. I think you are the best person to answer these. That yoga is already taken away and separated from
definitely,
healing.
madam.
In UGC, and here are few questions, sir. I think you are the best person to answer these. That yoga is already taken away and separated from degrees, PG degrees in yoga. So the yoga is already being taken away from us. Now sports is also being taken away from us. We are seeing, as you mentioned in your slides, we are observing that there are many universities, sports universities being established. And NSS, NCC are also separate wings. So what have we been left out? And how we can defend ourselves as a subject that needs to be taught? It's everybody knows that it is integral part of education, but nothing is being done to save it as an integral part. What is your opinion, and how we can handle this, sir?
Very apt question, madam. Uh, the situation is alarming. We should be very careful regarding this. As you rightly pointed out, sport is getting away from us, and yoga is already taken away from us. So the reason for this is probably that the policymakers are not very confident about physical education, the success of physical education. Since last few decades, after independence, we could not do much with our physical education. Even there are a lot of mushrooming of colleges as far as physical education is concerned, and as it is mentioned in the NEP, the standard of physical education training colleges has drastically come down. So it is just mere degree vending institutions. So this has been expressed in the NEP. It is not my thought actually. So why this has happened? We are the reason for that. Why our sports persons are going to such colleges? So where there is no education, where there is no teaching, where there is no systematic progress of the students. Students prefer such colleges. Why? There is something lacking in us actually. When students go to such colleges, those colleges flourish. And our strength in government colleges, actually it is 50. Nowhere in Karnataka, I go around all the institutions every year for various other assignments, but never in any institution I see full 50 full strength has been taken in. So why this is happening? Because we ourselves are responsible. If we are not giving standard education, they won't come to us. They want mere degrees. So at the pre-training itself, we will have to give a correct idea of physical education to them. Only then we can expect some changes. That is one thing. And second important thing is that our physical education should be based on the principle of variety. So we are struck with our mass PT or mass demonstration and many other things. We are not able to understand the needs of the students. So the needs of the students has entirely changed. So if you go around the universities of Karnataka, which university has changed, has revised its syllabus for every 3 years? I don't find any university revising its syllabus for every 3 years. So this has to be done. So if we are not on toes, then this physical education is going to be taken away from other people like sports or yoga. That's for sure, madam. So we will have to take care of that. And in coming days, this is an alarming situation. We have to get ready for that. And if we don't correct ourselves, then definitely sports will be prominent everywhere, and yoga will take care of health, and sports will be promoted for getting medals.
Well answered, sir. And the next question is, where should we be shifting all our centric efforts, so that we need to address on war food disease, that we don't lose on anything good in physical education. What is that we have to do?
Yes. Very apt question, madam. Uh, Madam, we will have to reach the masses. We are, as a physical education teachers, everywhere in schools or colleges, I have observed since last 15, 16 years. So PE teachers are focusing only on those gifted children who are good in sports, who can bring some medals or prizes to their institutions. So we are only focusing on them. We are not taking care of the larger interest of the students. So there is a there is a big group of students who are not into competitive sports. We will have to take care of them. We should give a good feeling to them from the field of physical education. We are paid to give our physical education to all the students, not only to those students who are going to the inter college or inter school competitions. But this wrong notion has been deeply rooted in the minds of physical education teachers, where they feel that getting medals or getting prizes to the institution itself is enough for them. But it is actually wrong. When you give education, when you give physical education to the entire students of your school or college, they take away good message. And once when they are the policy makers, they will definitely support us, because the children of today will be the citizen of tomorrow. They may hold key posts in future, and leave about that. So if they follow a healthy lifestyle, active lifestyle throughout their life, they will remember the physical education teacher as well as our physical education profession. So this is where we will have to take care, and we will have to shift our thought. That is what my personal opinion is.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one last question.
Yes.
Actually, this is like we discuss these things when all our physical education fraternity, the younger generation, come together. Sir, it is very disappointing that a person who does training, NCC training for 6 months and comes back, now his subject is recognized in NEP as a main subject. You do NAS for 12 months, you come back. 6 weeks certificate course, you come back. They get the all due respect. Even I'm very sorry to say this on record, even the doctorate people, what we have achieved after around 10 years of education, we don't get that thing to see in our field. It's very disappointing. So any solution for this, sir, and how to address this issue?
Yes. Madam, this all actually depends on the policymakers. What they feel is at the politicians level and at the policymakers, at the educationist. So what they actually feel is people who are achieving in sports, they need to have a good livelihood and a respectable position. Say, for example, there is a cricketer. He has achieved at the national level. He has played Ranji from Karnataka. If he is given a job in some university or some college, he may bring up many other cricketers in future. Or if he is a shot putter, if he is a if he is a national medalist, then if he is given a job in the university or in the college or in a school, if he is given security, job security, what will happen? He will be bringing up many short putters in future. So this is the concept actually in the minds of policymakers, and this has to be addressed properly. A good number of physical education professionals, both retired and in service physical educationists from various bodies like PEFI or many other bodies are prominently working in a very good way. These people have to give representation, have to meet the policymakers, have to meet the politicians and convey some conference or some workshop and convey the importance of physical education to them. So there can be many other ways to support these sports persons, but not at the cost of physical education. So we'll have to convince them, and we have to make our mark in the field of school and college education, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Very well answered. And the umbrella of physical education is being shattered, and we,
Yes.
the flag bearers, will have to take some measures to keep it intact. That is what I would like to say on this. And thank you very much, sir. Indeed, it was a very trending topic and very needed indeed. We had to discuss about these things. Thank you so much, sir, so,
Thank
for sparing your time and honoring us with your speech. We, on the behalf of organizing committee of this international conference and organizing convener Dilip Kumar and myself, uh, express our sincere thanks to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam, for the wonderful opportunity, and you are doing a great job. And I wish all the success for this international conference, madam. Thank you.
Hello everyone.